Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to you on Unacademy. I'm Prashasti Arora and today we will be talking about the farm laws. We'll talk about what exactly has been set up in order to ensure that the grievances of the farm laws are raised, and in that regard, what has the Supreme Court said. Then we'll talk about what exactly was their agitation on these farm laws and in the entire concept in its entirety. Now, before going ahead, a little bit about myself. I've done journalism and mass communication from LSR, and I enjoy delving deep into current affairs and current events. You can follow me on my Core Savi channel as well. Core Savi YouTube channel है, वहाँ मैं अपना summarized series of modern Indian history करती हूँ. I cover other important current affairs, so please do have a look at that as well. And do not forget to follow me on my Unacademy profile with the name Prashasti Arora. And in fact, you can now avail a 10% discount by using the code PRAS10. As soon as you use the code, you'll get a 10% discount. And do not forget to follow me on my Telegram channel, for which the link is this. Now, the new batches for UPSC CSE 2021, 2022, and 2023 has started on 11th of January. So please do enroll for the same and get all the benefits. Now, there's Mission 2021, there is Lux 2021, and there is Expedition 2021 as well. There'll be prelims syllabus coverage, there'll be top educators on one platform, there'll be prelims test series with analysis, there'll be PDF study material, there'll be dedicated doubt clearing sessions, and there will be interview preparations as well. Also, if you've not upgraded from the Plus to the Iconic subscription, please do that right away, because it will help you connect with your personal coach. There'll be mains test series with evaluation, there'll be customization of your study planner, there'll be study booster sessions, there'll be high intensity, you can be part of high intensity workshops, you can practice answer writing daily, and you can accelerate your preparation with daily content. Now, why exactly has the farm laws come up in the news in the context of the Supreme Court? Please remember that the Supreme Court has set up a committee to examine the farm laws, and the farmers have been asked to raise their objections in front of this particular committee. In fact, the committee that has been set up will submit the report to the Chief Justice of India. And in fact, this Supreme Court has heavily criticized the government in the way it has handled the farm laws, in the way it has handled the farmers' protests that happened and that took place for such a long time, and it's still under ongoing. Now, talking about the farm laws, please remember that in September 2020, during the monsoon session of the Parliament, three specific ordinances pertaining to the field of agriculture were passed in both the houses of the Parliament. Now, these three laws, according to the government, will facilitate access to larger markets, better technology, and better prices. And this will in turn, help the farmers, that can help double their, income by 2022. Now, why has there exactly been dissent in regard to these three laws? The major reason as to why there has been dissent is because the farmers are unhappy on the fact that agriculture will become privatized in the future, and that will take away all the security that the farmers have. Now, the law pertains to the agriculture markets. Now, this legislation, the first that I'm talking about, the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act, under that, the law pertains to the agricultural markets. Now, this legislation enables the farmers to sell their products outside registered mandis in the state. Now, remember that mandis are under the Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee Act 2003, and these mandis were operationalized by the government to protect the interest of the farmers who otherwise could be exploited by private agencies. Now, in fact, the mandis procure the produce from the farmers at the minimum support price, which is announced by the government. Now, we know a little fact about that. The minimum support price is announced for around 25 products by the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs on the recommendations of the Commission for Agricultural Cost and Prices. Now, the mandis function under the state government, and agriculture, please remember, is a state subject as per the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Now, In fact, the legislation will also facilitate interstate and intrastate trade of agricultural products, apart from just providing a facilitation mechanism for electronic trading. Now, APMCs function, the mandis function under the respective state governments. Until date, the farmers generally were not permitted to sell their crops outside the mandis. However, some states such as Karnataka, Uttar Pradesh have permitted the farmers to sell their produce to private entities. Now, in fact, the problem with APMCs is that states such as Sikkim have not even established APMCs, and in fact, Bihar has shut down all its APMCs. Now, as far as electronic trading is concerned, the ENAM, or the Electronic National Agricultural Markets, was established to enable trade between all APMCs around the state. In fact, Karnataka became the first state to launch ENAM. Now the farmers will be permitted to sell their produce to any private entity anywhere in the state and nation. Now, for example, if giving you an example in this context, a farmer in Sonipat district of Haryana can sell his produce in Gurugram in Haryana, or even in Delhi NCT. So this, even though these are the advantages of the legislations that have been passed, but farmers still have that that fear that the security will be taken away by the privatization. Now, of course, talking about the disadvantages of this particular legislation, the states fear that they will lose revenue in the form of mandi tax. And in fact, the agents in the APMCs who have exploited the farmers, who were acting like the middlemen, or the agents, see their livelihood being threatened because of this particular legislation. Now, in fact, revenue from the mandi tax in Punjab is being used to develop the rural infrastructure and establish roads, cold storage facilities, which is very, very important during the times of coronavirus, and better APMC facilities. This all is being threatened because of the fact that mandi tax will be abolished, right? Now, further, farmers fear that the entry of the private players, this is the major fear, that the entry of the private players in the agricultural sector, it will lead to the government, dismantling the APMC eventually, and it may lead to a situation of monopoly wherein the farmers will not be able to bargain effectively, and this will, and will suffer in the hands of the private sector. Now, the government has, of course, assured that there will be no withdrawal of the minimum support price, and the APMCs will continue to function. But despite that, the farmers fear that the privatization will, hamper the, the security of the farmers. Now, the legislation will also enable contract farming in India. It will permit farmers to enter into contracts with private organizations for sale of future agricultural produce at a rate that is predetermined. Now, of course, it is expected to ensure, assured prices for the farmers, and it is also expected to benefit more than 86% of the small and marginal farmers, right? Who's, those with less than 2 hectares and 5 hectares of land, respectively. In fact, it will also facilitate better access to technology, seeds, and other inputs to farmers, and the risk of the farming operations will now be transferred to the private players. Now, in fact, farmers can indulge in direct marketing and resolution of disputes. Now, what exactly are the disadvantages in that regard? Farmers are not legally literate, and because of that, coming up with elaborate legal contracts with private companies may be very, very disastrous for them. And in fact, private companies may end up exploiting the farmers. Hiring lawyers will drive up the input cost of agricultural production. And in fact, the legal suit filed against the farmers from Gujarat by PepsiCo under the Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers Rights Act 2001 is often pointed out by critics as a case where the farmers can be legally harassed by the companies, which was seen in the past. Now, in fact, Tamil Nadu became the first state in India to support contract farming, and Punjab and Uttar Pradesh have also actively supported it. Now, talking about Essential Commodities Act 2020, this legislation does away with the stock holding of certain commodities like pulses, potatoes, onions, and cereals. It will permit stock holding only in extraordinary circumstances during, for example, like wars and natural disasters. Now, of course, the government is very, it's saying that this will ensure a lot of, you know it will not ensure it will ensure that buffer stocks are not wasted, and in fact this will encourage private investments in agriculture without any fear of government or regulatory interference. It will also ensure the stability of the prices. Now, one may wonder as to why only farmers from Haryana, Punjab are protesting against these farm laws and not the farmers in other parts of the country. It's because 60% of the produce from Haryana and Punjab are procured by the APMCs, and it is these farmers who fear that APMC and MSPs will be withdrawn by the government. So, this is the larger agrarian crisis that is looming. Now, of course, agricultural protests in Chhattisgarh, Karnataka, Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and Rajasthan have also happened in the past. And in fact, the sad figures show us that it is estimated that farmers commit suicide every 30 minutes. And in fact, Maharashtra has the greatest number, which is followed by Telangana. So this is the larger agrarian crisis. In fact, the cost of agricultural inputs has gone up in recent times, and the farmers are not getting a good rate in the market. In fact, this has made agriculture, which was the backbone of Indian economy, a big disaster. In fact, over 56% of the workforce is dependent on agriculture directly, and this influences the economy in many other aspects. Now, of course, water, which is a critical input, has not been constant as far as agriculture is concerned, and only 40% of the nation is irrigated, and the rest is dependent on the monsoon, which is being impacted very heavily due to these reasons and due to various other reasons. This is it from my side. If you have any doubt related to the larger agrarian crisis, Essential Commodities Act 2020, the Farmers Agreement of Price Assurance and Farm Services Bill, or even the Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Act 2020, please let me know in the comment section. The PDF will be provided to you on my Telegram channel, so please do subscribe to that. This is it from my side. Please do subscribe to Unacademy if you've not done it already, and avail all the benefits. And of course, if you've not upgraded it from the to the iconic subscription, please do that right away, because it will help you connect with a personal coach. There'll be a study planner, there'll be experts guidelines, and there'll be mains test series as well. This is it from my side. See you next time.